Welcome back to another edition of All Chiefed Up, where we do Kansas City Chiefs news, analysis, and more. Today, we're going to talk about some plays on the defense, go over those, break them down a little bit. But first, we have to talk about Turk Wharton. He's out for the season. He tore his ACL last night against the Raiders. That's a huge loss for the Chiefs, man. They are calling Danny Shelton up from the practice squad, but that leaves a few options now. So do you think they're going to start looking to sign somebody like Ndamukong Suh or something that people's been talking about? Or do you think they're just going to use Danny Shelton and sign someone else to the practice squad?
I think for now, they're probably just going to stick with Shelton. Me and you had talked about way early when we were talking about fixing the pass rush, way back in the offseason, about maybe bringing in a Ndamukong Suh. We thought that maybe that could help the pass rush. This would be a time to look at him. At the same time, Suh's a little older. He's going to want a lot of money. He could probably help. I would not be opposed to it. I leave that squarely on Veach and the coaching staff. If they think we need him, more power to them. But I think they'll probably just stick with Shelton and probably Stallworth out the practice squad.
Right. And that was not a popular opinion back when we said to get Ndamukong Suh. No one wanted it. But now it is a popular opinion. People are talking about it all the time. And I do think he would fit great with the attitude of the defense we got this year, because we're a little chippier, a little more straightforward, rock your head kind of defense. And he would fit right in. And I think it could be an asset for us, if he doesn't get too crazy.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, let's jump on over to the Chris Jones sack and the horrible roughing the passer penalty. That is what's on everybody's talking sheets today. That's all we heard about on ESPN, everywhere else. Everybody is on board with All Chiefed Up. They're saying that was a horrible, bogus penalty. The NFL is out of control. They need to rein it in, or something bad's going to happen, being people's going to stop watching this. We don't want to watch two-hand touch football. We don't want to put flags on the quarterback. And we just talked off camera a little bit. We're getting to the point to where if we don't put our foot down right now and figure this out, that it's going to look like the Pro Bowl out there all the time. And if you've watched any of the Pro Bowl for the last few years, my God, you don't want that.
Right. I mean, where does it stop? You're already babying a quarterback that's getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play football, to the point to where we're getting to where you can't tackle them. You can't make a clean, normal tackle on a quarterback without getting a flag. Where does it stop? So are the running backs next? Are the receivers next? Where does it stop? We are going to turn into the Pro Bowl game, like you said. It's going to be stupid to watch. It's just going to be bad. So they definitely got to draw some clear-cut lines. And I'm with Troy Aikman. They got to take the dresses off these guys. I don't care how many people got mad at that comment he made, but he hit it 100%, the nail on the head. These are grown men getting paid millions of dollars to play football. Quit treating them like women, little babies, whatever you want to say. This is how it is. I mean, you can take that however you want, but that's the God honest truth. And I'm with Troy Aikman on that one.
I thought he had the ball, so I mean that's what I thought. But that's their job, so they do that. It's an emotional game, so what I thought wasn't right. So, but it is what it is. The guys felt the same way I did, so yeah, I think it gave us a little juice, probably.
Yeah, but look, the NFL already announced today. Carl Cheffers, the one that made the call, they come out and said he landed with his full body weight.
Yeah.
They could tell because Derek Carr braced himself with his arm. Well, what's the quarterback going to do? You're always going to brace yourself. You brace yourself every time you fall. You do that when you're a baby. That doesn't mean that's not an indication of if you're landing with full body weight. And the NFL's doubling down on this. I read a thing today where they said, hey, we're going to get together and talk about this maybe, but in the meantime, it's not going to change and we don't see it changing. So like we said, the NFL doesn't want to fix something like this because this is an interpretive call and they can sway games using it.
Yeah.
And they can do what they want to do. And we don't think that they're going to give it up so easily. And I don't think they will either. Let's roll the clip with Chris Jones talking about this.
There's no need for an explanation, okay? So when I'm going to go up to him and say, how should I tackle? How should I not roll on him? I'm trying my best. I'm 25 pounds, okay? What you want me to do? I'm running full speed trying to get the quarterback. I hit the ball. What you want me to do? I brace my hands. So I think it's like taking the initiative to extend to look at roughing the passers now as a league, like they did pass interference a couple years back, where we can view the pass interference. I think that's now the next level we're going to have to take as a league for all these roughing the passers.
Yeah, so Chris Jones is basically saying this has got to be something that's reviewable, because what you see right on the field in that quick amount of time, it is hard on a referee with these dumb rules that they've put into place. So making that call, I still feel like it falls on a referee somewhat because I mean, how far are you taking these stupid rules? You know what I mean? It's still all subjective. So yeah, I think that's maybe a start, but I think what they do have to do is get rid of the can't put your body weight on a quarterback thing. That's got to go. It's all there is to it.
I went back and watched that clip several times today. Chris Jones did not even put his full body weight on him. He kind of misses him to the right side. I don't know what they wanted Chris Jones to do. I'm with Chris Jones. How does he explain that? You can't hit a quarterback high. You can't hit a quarterback low. You can't launch yourself at him. You can't wrap him up around the waist and sling him now because that's what Tom Brady got the penalty for. Now you can't even hit him. What are you supposed to do? At some point, if these guys are having to think this much and they're having to slow down and let the quarterback just sit in the pocket, they're at risk themselves of injuring themselves because they got big offensive linemen pushing and everything.
Right. Think about how stupid this is. So they don't want you to put your full body weight on the quarterback because of a couple years ago, Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, and he cried about it so much that they changed the rule that you can't put your body weight on the quarterback. Okay, so like I said yesterday, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are almost 100% solely responsible for these crappy rules just because they've been crying about it for 10 years now. They're prima donnas. But okay, how dumb is it that Derwin James can pick up Travis Kelce and power bomb him? And that's not even a penalty at all, but you can't tackle a quarterback?
Yeah, well, even back to the Derwin James play, maybe someone not James, but there was another guy that come in and helped slam him to the ground. What about the no call this weekend when Zach Wilson from the Jets goes diving into the end zone and the safety comes in and just helmet to helmet on him? What happened to
Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett
Buffalo
got hit
was playing
twice.
dirty. They were playing dirty. Buffalo's a dirty team, and that's something that we're gonna have to watch next week because they were taking shots at Pickett's knees. They were taking shots at his head. They don't care, and not one flag thrown.
Right. So we were asked, well, why didn't Mahomes get that penalty late in the game when the broken play, he got his foot stepped on? We're going to show the clip. I don't remember who it was. Was it Perryman come through the line, grabbed him by the waist, slung him? Yeah. If you watch the play, Perryman, by the rules, should have gotten a penalty. That was identical to the Tom Brady play the other day against the Falcons. You're going to see that in the clip as well. I don't know why he didn't get it. The only thing I can say is it's interpretive, and it shouldn't be a penalty, but they're going to call it when they want to call it.
Someone also posed the question why Chris Jones got a penalty that swayed the whole outcome of a game against the Colts for something that he said, but Max Crosby can headbutt Patrick Mahomes. And here's my thing about it. Here's the way I see both of it. First of all, Max Crosby headbutting Patrick Mahomes, I don't even care. That's not a penalty. That's them playing football. If Max Crosby really wanted to hurt Patrick Mahomes, he would hurt him. Okay, that's just them hyping each other up, playing the game, being competitive. And the tackles, the one on Tom Brady, the one on Patrick Mahomes that didn't get called, those are not roughing the passer. Those are tackles. It's just a tackle. It's tackle football. Get over it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're called and why they're not called. Again, it's just a subjective thing by whoever the officiating crew is, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think the next logical solution is exactly what Chris Jones said. You're going to have to make these plays reviewable, but even if they are reviewable, the league's going to come in and uphold them because the league wants this. Yeah. I don't know why this one Tua concussion has caused such a massive shift. I guess because Miami tried so hard to be Chiefs 2.0, and now it's going to fail in their case, and the league's got to, do something to help them out. But I really don't know. But let's just move on to the next subject here, man.
So we're going to take a look at this play. It was 4th and 1. The Raiders had just got a pretty good ball spot. They didn't blow the play dead and let the play run out, and they got like an extra 5 yards and got them in a 4th and 1 situation. They decided to go for it, and they decided to be aggressive. And what happened in this play, we'll roll it so you can watch it, but you're going to see that the safeties come down and get into the box. They're almost showing blitz. And I think that they were under the impression that they were going to run up the middle with Josh Jacobs because that's kind of the theme that they had so far in the game. So that left Rashad Fenton on an island out there with Devontae Adams. That is a recipe for disaster. He got absolutely toasted. Adams just blows by him, and he's a good 10 yards open. So basically, you're going to see Derek Carr just kind of throw a really safe pass. He probably could have threw a little further, but he did not want to overshoot that because he was too wide open. So it resulted in like a 56-yard touchdown, and that started all the momentum for the Raiders there at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, like we all know Fenton, he's grabby, he's handsy. He doesn't like to turn around and find the football in the air. He's got many problems. But the thing about Fenton is he's got what coaches like when it comes to forgetting plays, so he can make a mistake, turn around the next time and make a good play, very next play. He's got that going for him. But if you watch this play, Fenton, it's like Fenton don't know what the play is. It's almost like he thinks he's passing this guy off to a safety, and then he turns around, he's like, uh-oh, it's not there.
There was
and then
definitely some hesitation.
There was a hesitation there. And you could also see Fenton grabs at him and just completely misses him. Because, of course, that's what Fenton wants to do is grab. He don't want to run with him and move his hips. He wants to grab at him. So, yeah, this was just all around blown coverage by Fenton. Horrible play. We don't have the clip for this one, but Fenton's little PI over in the corner against Adams as well. He was face guarding him. He was holding him the whole time. That was a PI. I didn't think at first it should have been called, but once I watched the replay, it should have been called. It was a good call. Fenton's just that guy, man. I don't know how Fenton actually fits in the future with us having Snead coming on and drafting McDuffie so high and Watson looking like he can play. And then we got Josh Williams. Don't forget about him. He's going to progress. I'm telling you, man, if you could get anything out of Fenton here at this trade deadline, I would almost consider it if I was Brett
Yeah,
Veach.
so if Fenton would have played that a little bit differently, not been so grabby and actually turned around and look at the ball, it probably wouldn't have been a pass interference. Not saying it wouldn't have got called, because in the same situation, we'll take a look at this play in the end zone. You got Jaylen Watson on Devontae Adams. Perfect coverage. Absolutely perfect coverage. You couldn't ask for anything better. Derek Carr underthrows the ball by at least 4 or 5 yards, and you're going to see Devontae Adams leap forward towards the ball, causing the contact. Watson actually did turn his head to look, and when he turned back to look at the receiver, that's when all this took place. And not only was it not defensive pass interference, but it probably should have been some sort of penalty on Adams, as he took down Jaylen Watson by the throat all the way to the ground. After that, I don't know what's up with Devontae Adams. It's like he went to the Raiders and became a Raider, like straight up, just dirty, stupid attitude, and just doing something dumb all the time.
Yeah. Well, we can't say the Raiders orientation doesn't work, because it worked in that case. But yeah, I'm with you. This should not have been called. This was a good play by the rookie in which you said, I corroborated, this is what we should have done. We said if he starts getting burned, put a safety over there to help him a little bit. To be honest, he was guarding him up pretty well one-on-one. And this one, you'll see, he gets about to the 5-yard line and he turns to look at the ball. I put his big old arrow on there. You can see his head turning to look at the ball. And then, obviously, you can't just keep it looking at the ball. You got to turn around and find the receiver. And that split time when he turns back around to find Devontae Adams, the ball's underthrown, and then he jumps right in, to Devontae Adams. They create contact. It was incidental at best. I just don't see how you call that. It wasn't face guarding. It wasn't none of that. It was a bang play. Those officials just wanted to call it.
If the ball wasn't so underthrown and Adams didn't have to throw himself into the defender to try to get to the ball, there would have never been contact. Right. So, I mean, that was basically an underthrown ball by Derek Carr, end of play, and it should have never been any kind of penalty.
Yeah, well, that was a good game plan. I seen somebody write on Twitter and said, hey, this game plan of just underthrowing balls and getting PI calls is working out pretty well. And, it does work.
When you have flag happy referees, you can take advantage of them sometimes. I mean, Brady is a master at it.
Yeah, especially in key situations.
I would say overall, the defense had a pretty decent performance. I mean, there were some plays where they broke down like Fenton on that coverage on Devontae Adams. But, I mean, for the most part, they did put some pressure on Derek Carr, mostly due to the fact that Spag's game plan, a lot of people didn't like it, but I wasn't opposed to it. He blitzed like crazy. He was trying to get in Derek Carr's face and shake him, because that's what happens. We've talked about that. You got to get back there and hit him. But, things kind of took a turn when that stupid call on Chris Jones happened. I mean, at least it got the guys fired up, but also it makes it weird when you start trying to put pressure on a quarterback after you realize you're not allowed to tackle him. So I was happy to see on the very last play of the game, Nick Bolton didn't let any of that affect him. He went straight back there and he hit Derek Carr. Didn't even think twice about it. He hit him hard. And that's how these guys have got to continue to play football. If they throw a flag, they throw a flag. Big deal.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to be back tomorrow, though, with a little bit of offensive line coverage. Everybody's asking about the offensive line. What do you think, Steve? First impressions. Do you think they played bad? Do you think they played well? What's your guess before we hit the film?
Chiefs Twitter, you would think that they're the worst offensive line in football. I personally don't think they're as bad as people are making them out to be. I think they had a pretty decent game yesterday, believe it or not. If you don't agree with me, get down in the comments. Thanks for liking, subscribing, hitting that bell. If you want to watch our initial reactions from the game right afterwards, make sure to watch it right now. The video is right here. And we'll see you back tomorrow so we can talk about this offensive line.
Let's do it. Let's go Chiefs, baby.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.